Today I'm going to show off probably what is the greatest G-Shock of not only this year, but the last 3 years. Let's get into it! Yes, and welcome to the Mad Watch Collector Show. This has been one of the most eagerly anticipated watch releases of not only 2025, but of the past 3 years. I am a huge fan of the G-Shock Square, so much so I've got 9 of them. And I'm also a fan of the GBD 200. Now that watch has something called a memory in pixel display and pretty much makes it the most legible G-Shock ever produced. Now it has its flaws, and back when I did the review about 3 years ago, people in the comment section were desperate to see it with solar power and have multi-band 6. And why could we have a G-Shock Square memory in pixel display? Well, about a year and a half ago, we thought we had it because G-Shock released this thing, the H5600. And although it was a G-Shock Square design, it had a horrible paw print in the case back to measure your heart rate. It was the thickest G-Shock Square you could buy. The shroud could be pulled off at any time. Plus, this watch needed to be plugged in and charged on literally a daily basis. This thing has a blank screen because I haven't charged it since the day I reviewed it. But in 2025, it seems as though we've got the G-Shock we always wanted. So how does it compare to the likes of the 5610U, the 5000U, and the regular 5600? And do I recommend it to you lot? Plus, what does the wife think? Are you G-Shock Square MIP ready? Let's go. So, to give it its full name, we have the GW-BX5600, and look how goddamn legible this thing is. Yes, we have a G-Shock Square case, and it has a memory in pixel display. Not only that, the display is in a positive format, so very similar to your SDN screens. But Casio have done something very clever. They have regressed from the GBD 200 and given us a 7-segmented number display, just like your standard digital watches. I think that is an absolute superb move because it's going to be an easier transition for all those passionate purist G-Shock and Casio lovers out there that prefer the older displays. But as you can see, at any angle I put this screen, the time is so legible. Obviously, it's the most legible G-Shock Square we've seen so far, and this thing does all the things we want it to. Apart from a couple of things, but we'll go through that in a minute. So, resin case, resin strap with a metal tang buckle, nothing new there. I think it's bio resin. We have a screwed down case back. This is not one of those premium G-Shocks where the actual case is made of stainless steel like the originals. It's resin and resin rubber. But check out that display, people. It says multi-band 6 and solar. Finally, a MIP display in a G-Shock Square that gives 2 features everybody was looking for. And us old G-Shock lovers, we weren't after the moon on a stick. We weren't asking for the wheel to be remade and modelled. We just wanted a G-Shock Square with a MIP display that didn't detract from being a G-Shock Square. And by golly, Casio have done it. As you can see around the display, we have the solar panels. This G-Shock is very reminiscent to the 5600. I will show you that and compare in a minute. I love the shock resist in the middle. And I love the touch of blue on this display because it is such a Casio color. Well played! And before I tell you the features of this watch, I'm gonna give it a comparison with all my other squares, starting with the DW5600. It pretty much resembles it the most. We have the blue at the top, and we have the shock resist in the middle at the bottom. Very similar colouring. The resin band and the case pretty much feels the same. But let me show you the screen difference, people. So much superior. It is ridiculous. Now I'm going to put it up against the hero model, the GWM5610U. Again, weight-wise, pretty much the same. At a pinch, yeah, I still probably prefer the look of the 5610 because of that red framing. It best represents the first model that came out in '83. And even though we have a very crisp display, it still gets lost at certain angles. Meanwhile, the memory in pixel is absolutely phenomenal. Then we come to what I have called in the past the best G-Shock square money can buy, the GW5000U. Now the rubber and the resin of this watch does feel more premium to this new B5600, just feels softer and more malleable. This watch also weighs a few more grams because it has a stainless steel case with a screw down stainless steel case back. Another sign of premium for me. Take a look at the screens and you certainly lose everything on the 5000U at certain angles. It's not enough to put you off it, but what the B5600 does is definitely show you how good it could be or how much better it could be. The 5600 is around £50 on Amazon. The 5610U is around £95 to £100. The 5000U is just around the £200 mark. The best value for money G-Shock is the 5610U, right slap bang in the middle pricing. This new memory and pixel display G-Shock Square is going to cost you around £159. It costed me significantly more because I bought this from Japan and had to pay some lovely tax. But on the comparisons with the screens alone, I think we can see where Casio's future is going.
Could you just click that like button, please? It really helps the channel. Thank you.
Right, this new Square has a new module, the 3578. As I said, it's solar powered and we have atomic timekeeping, which means that around between 2 AM and 5 or 6 AM, this watch will try and pull a signal that's being beamed across my country. And if it needs to, it will readjust itself to tell the right time. Now this watch can be connected to your phone via Bluetooth. And there's certain things you're going to be able to do via your phone that you can't do with the watch. For example, if you want to turn the display back to something like the GBD 200s, which is more of a modern look, you can do that on the app. I don't want to connect this to my phone whatsoever, so I'm just going to keep it as is. But anyway, the basic functions are, we have a world time, we have 4 alarms and then a snooze alarm, we have a stopwatch, and something that the GBD 200 and the 300 doesn't have, an actual countdown timer. What isn't new, sadly, is the refresh rate on a MIP display. Unlike your standard 5600, you can time things on the stopwatch and the countdown timer to within 100th of a second. With the new B5600, you're only going to be able to time it by the second. I do use the stopwatch quite often, and that is the only flaw I would give this watch. Now, another thing they've sorted out since the GBD 200 and 300 is the beeping, because when you are pushing through the modes, you get a Casio beep, don't you? However, with the GBDs, it's only when you release your finger off the button does the beep happen. That was a bit icky to me. It didn't feel like a Casio, but with this new module, it works like a regular Casio. Yes! Now, if you notice it in the top left corner, we can change a few things. At the minute, we have the day of the week and we have the month and day at the top of the display. Push the top left pusher. Now we have Monday 2025, still with the month and the day. Push it again. Now we have 2 time zones, which can be programmed in, showing in the top right hand side. And then we have a smaller Monday, which you definitely couldn't have done with a standard digital display. It's just too small. Then we come to the backlight. Now this isn't particularly bright. It's ice white, and the whole screen does illuminate, but it's certainly not an electroluminescent, and it's definitely not as good as the 5000U.
Hello.
On my 6.5-inch wrist, and I love wearing squares. Not only that, I love wearing a square G-Shock that I can see at any angle whatsoever. This is almost 90 degrees and I can tell it's 10:47 in the morning. I can't do that with any other digital Casio watch I own, and you guys know I've got a lot of them. I love the fact they've made a positive display and they've kept the retro 7-segment numbers. Such a good move, but look at that. Look how clear that is. Phenomenal. So there we go, the GW-B5600. A watch I think is probably the best watch G-Shock has done in the past, I don't know, 3 to 4 years. It's a no-brainer, and they should have done it a long time ago, because it would have made me not buy this horrible paw print one. But they've given us the watch we wanted, people. £159? It's not too bad. It's a brand new release of a watch that you're not going to need to change the battery. It looks so close to digital displays we know that it will be easier for the old digital lovers to get right behind it. Obviously the negatives, the light isn't as bright as I thought it would be, and we still don't have a 100th of a second on the stopwatch or the countdown timer. If G-Shock can sort the refresh rate out, there'd be no negatives whatsoever. So do I recommend this new B5600 to you lot?
Hell yes!
It doesn't pull up any trees, but to cement itself in 2025, I think it's a G-Shock Square that is going to sell a hell of a lot. So here it is, my wife's first impressions of this revolutionary G-Shock Square. Oh great, another square rubber watch. This will look great with your other 50 that you have, that all look the same. She hasn't seen the comparison yet of the screens. You know, she doesn't know, but oh, what an absolute beauty. Thank you so much for watching till the end. If you want to support the Mad Watch Collector a bit more, why don't you come and join the Patreon fun? See the shows early, behind the scenes content, blooper reels, private group chat, and get your name credited at the end of every show like this phenomenal lot. So appreciative. Go on! But if I've got you for a few more minutes, and I hope I do, why don't you click this one out? Oh, look at that. See the time? Lovely. Go on, click it. You'll love it. Click. Go on, click. Click. Click it!